Come on over, baby. Come on over.
Hi, welcome to my vocabulary lesson. My name is Maja and today I'd like to teach you a couple of phrasal verbs. Our focus for today is come, okay? So I will show you a couple of phrasal verbs which contain this verb come, okay? So let's start with come over. You know that in English, phrasal verbs have a couple of meanings. So come over doesn't have just one meaning. It has a variety of meanings and I would like to focus on that. 3 ones, okay? So the first one, if someone comes over, they visit you at your house, okay? So for example, last night my sister came over. So it means that she visited me at my house, okay? And another example, do you want to come over on Friday night? Okay, now the second. If an idea comes over well, then people can understand it easily. So an example sentence for you. I thought that the points he was making came over quite clearly, okay? So it means that the points he was making were easy to understand, okay? So people understood the points he was making quite well, okay? So if someone comes over in a particular way, okay, so comes over or comes across, okay, so synonyms, come over and come across. So if someone comes over in a particular way, they seem to have like specific particular qualities, characteristics. So let's have a look at the picture. She comes over as a very efficient businesswoman, okay? Or she comes over as a friendly person. So if I say she comes over as a friendly person, so it means that she seems to be a friendly person. Or she comes over as a very efficient businesswoman, so it means that she seems to be a very efficient businesswoman. Okay, so now next phrasal verb, come up. Okay, so this phrasal verb has also a couple of meanings. So if someone comes up to you, they come close to you, especially to talk to you, okay, to speak to you. So like come up or approach, okay? So let's have a look at this romantic picture. So a man came up to her and asked for a light, okay? So come up or approach, so come close to you, okay? So the second meaning is completely different, okay? So if a subject comes up, the synonym is arise, people mention it and discuss it. So the subject of salaries didn't come up. So it means that people didn't mention this subject and obviously they didn't discuss it. Okay, one more meaning, if a job or an opportunity comes up, it becomes available. Okay, so a vacancy has come up in the accounts department. So if a vacancy has come up, okay, so it means that you could apply for this job and maybe you will get it. Okay, so come up with, okay, next phrasal verb and also a couple of meanings, okay? Remember that the meanings I am talking about are not the only meanings, okay? Because phrasal verbs tend to have a lot of meanings, okay? Not just 1 or 2 or 3, more. Okay, so, but I'm trying to mention the most important ones in my opinion, obviously. So, come up with, it means to think of an idea, answer, and so on. So I always ask my students to come up with interesting ideas, with interesting conclusions or solutions or reasons, especially when we talk about IELTS essay questions. Okay, so it's always a good idea to come up with a couple of solutions, reasons, and so on. So we have been asked to come up with some new ideas. Okay, so for example, your boss could ask you to come up with some interesting, creative solutions. Now, the second meaning is completely different and is informal, okay? So you know that there are different registers. Some verbs could be more formal, some informal. This one is informal. This meaning, okay, is informal. So to produce an amount of money. So especially if you watch movies, maybe you could come across this phrasal verb, okay? So, like imagine that someone owes money and the other person is making a lot of pressure, okay, so pay me back now. And then the question could be, how am I supposed to come up with $10,000, okay? How am I supposed to produce such an amount of money, okay? So we are in big trouble if we don't come up with the money by 6 o'clock, okay? So imagine, come up with money to produce an amount of money, and it's an informal phrasal verb, okay? Informal use. Okay, now come to, okay? Again, a couple of meanings. So you come to a decision, conclusion, or agreement, and the synonym could be reach, okay? So if they don't come to a decision by midnight, the talks will be abandoned, okay? So for example, if people negotiate something, yes, they need to come to a decision. If they don't come to a decision, if they don't reach an agreement, okay, or if they don't come to an agreement, then the talks could be abandoned. Okay, now if an idea or thought comes to you, okay, you realize or remember something, okay? So I have forgotten her name, but maybe it will come to me later. Okay, so for example, if students ask me, how do you say, I don't know, like in an idiomatic expression, and I could answer, I don't remember at this moment, but I hope it will come to me later, okay? So it means that I will remember this expression or idiom later. It will come to me, okay? Now, informal one, when it comes to something, okay? So when you are dealing with something or talking about something, okay? So when it comes to playing chess, he's the best I know, okay? When it comes to teaching English, I am a very enthusiastic teacher. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope to see you soon. Bye!